for any school.
Yeah.
But I always thought, out of all the different moves where teams are joining conferences and sometimes it just doesn't make sense or whatever, Oregon always had all of the speed they could ever want and all of the all those touch positions.
Mm-hmm.
But by joining the Big Ten, they're getting bigger. And that's the problem. When Oregon played 15 years ago, they still had a small Pac-10 offensive line. That offensive line's getting bigger and bigger, and so now all of a sudden you're almost looking like Ohio State line with Oregon weapons.
It's a big group. I do think you look at all the key games and stuff, and Ohio State's featured in so many of these games, and I wouldn't be surprised if they make the run at it this year for it. They're obviously in that top tier, but everybody obviously is going to give Indiana and Oregon the nod for those two first spots there. I wouldn't be surprised if OH made the run.
Yeah, are you
What's
turning?
that, OH?
Yeah.
Well, but-
OAIO. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Are you turning into a little bit more of a college fan than you were before? Because I know you're a big pro guy.
Yeah, I'm more of the Sunday guy, so I'll stay in my lane with that. But I thought the playoff, you're not, whether you like it or you like it, hate it, or whatever, college football, whatever. I mean, I thought the playoff was entertaining last year, and we're going to see where it's going to go and where it's going to evolve. I mean, it's going to go there, so it got me more involved than just watching the dumb bowl games that are played those last 3 weeks. So it made it a lot of fun.
Tell me this: after 2 years of it, does it diminish anything about games in September and October, where boy, that game between Texas and Oklahoma used to mean a lot more. Now you're letting 14 teams into the tournament, not as much on those games.
Well, I think the question is, and the NFL is doing it too, is like, how much is enough? Right, and
it's
never enough. You're going to tell me we're going to put 2 more teams, 4 more teams. We're going to play every day, and people are going to watch. People are going to pay. Maybe I can't go to every game, but I'm still going to go to some games as a fan. And so I think these leagues are just going to push. They're just going to more is more, and people keep watching and people keep paying.
Because people keep paying dollars for college football.
Well, and
it's the love of the U.S.
If anything, I was listening to the whole economics of how college players. I mean, they're making millions of dollars now, and they're getting in, and they're getting into the NFL, and they're actually becoming better stewards of their money because they've already learned about money in college and made whatever mistakes they're going to make. And
I hope that's true. I don't know.
The
Carson Becks of the world. I don't know if they're getting smarter.
And there's very few
my
college
Lambo
players.
got stolen.
You might have some guys gamble on the game, that kind of thing.
Just saying.
No Sorsby or anything.
So looking back here at the Ohio State schedule, at Texas, at Indiana, versus Oregon, and that doesn't even take.
That's their first 3?
No, just during the season.
Okay.
But that also includes there's an at Indiana, or I'm sorry, an at Iowa, which I don't think is a tough game, but throw it out there, and then Michigan. Then the
how
season.
Many home games do they have? It seems like they always have 10
8
games.
or 9 home games.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah,
7 home games and 5 away.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they do have a tough schedule. But that just makes them that much more powerful if they get out of it.
Whoever comes out of that second week game with Texas and Ohio State. I said it last year before that game. I said, just for the record, whoever wins this, there's going to be people. This is the SEC. It's probably not that crazy, but it'll still get done again after this game, no matter who wins.
Yeah.
Oh, you can clearly see that's a much better conference than the other one. No, I just saw two teams play. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It sets up for a great overreaction Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a couple of new coaches in the Big Ten this year. Is it Whittingham that went from Utah?
Kyle?
Yeah, from Utah to Michigan.
He's been everywhere. He was Notre Dame to Stanford.
And Matt Campbell went from Iowa State to take James Franklin's place at Penn State.
Boy, it's worked out great so far at Penn State.
Yeah, I don't know how many football players are involved in that, but we'll see what happens. And I'd like to see Oregon do well. I just they lost a lot. They didn't lose Dante Moore. They did lose their fabulous tight end. and we may talk about him later in the segment. I think he's a sleeper in the draft. Yeah, but we'll
A
see.
Chuck Nugget.
A Chuck Nugget.
So
yeah.
I'm looking. I just pulled up the Indiana schedule. North Texas, Howard, Western Kentucky, Northwestern, Rutgers, Nebraska. Those are their first 6 games in order. So I don't care if this team's 6-0 and they've won every game. But what am I supposed to think? And then even after that, Ohio State, Michigan back to back. That'll be entertaining for the rest of the world. Minnesota, USC, Washington, Purdue. So.
Wow.
And
They played the bottom half of the entire conference.
We talked about this.
Michigan's got a tough schedule.
We talked about this for the SEC, and this is my big thing always against these two conferences. The bottom of the SEC could blow doors in a lot of conferences. You throw Mississippi State in the ACC, there's some people going to get their ass whipped.
Yeah.
When you look at this Big Ten schedule, it's not daunting. You can look at these guys and go, yes, there's 3 really good teams. There's a couple outsiders who could get some stuff, but it's just bad. And then when you go outside and you're like, we'll play Howard. Can we get Western Kentucky and Howard to go with our mediocre schedule?
Well, they played Kennesaw State last year, and I don't think we can get out of this segment, college football. The only thing we talk about college football where we can't congratulate Coleman Bennett. You know who Coleman Bennett is? He from Kennesaw State. He scored the first ever KSU football touchdown in the NFL.
Yes, he
on
did.
Saturday for the Bears. So congrats, Coleman.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, that's
Great.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
There's certain things that can never take away from you when you're the first to do anything.
And there's another Kennesaw State guy, defense. I can't think of his name. I think he's actually been on the show. But he's on second in the depth chart for the L.A. Raiders. I mean, for the Vegas Raiders. Yeah.
And the other guy, I thought you were going to talk about the linebacker. Who's the linebacker who's already on all of the Nagurski and all the other watch lists for this year? Hobson.
B. Hobson. B. Hop. Yeah. He's still here. Yeah.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Correct. But how awesome is that? Been on the show and already on all the lists to start the year.
Yeah, that's pretty
Who
cool.
do they open with this year?
They open with
West
Georgia.
West Georgia.
2 weeks from tomorrow night.
West Georgia, followed by Georgia State.
And then they go to Tennessee.
At Tennessee. Knoxville.
I got my ticket.
Woo!
I can't wait to go to that game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll
that's
be
going to be a
fun.
blast. All right. I guess we need to pick a winner. I'm gonna say Oregon just to be consistent with the last 3 years. I hope they come through with something. I'm not an Ohio State fan. They probably have the most talent, but I'd like to see Oregon do something.
Yeah, I've never disliked Oregon compared to a lot of other schools, but I will go Ohio State based on that talent level. I just don't know that there's another team out there that you can look at Georgia and you can go, well, man, they bring a lot of defensive guys to the NFL. Every position on Ohio State is going to the next level, and it seems like that every year.
And that's why I'm going to pick Ohio State, too.
All right, 2 Ohio States and a duck. All right. There you go. All right, we're going to move on to Brent's favorite subject, the AFC East. But first, we'll do a Brain Train commercial.
Hey, it's Melissa at Brain Train Centers, the fastest growing neurofeedback provider in the world, and I have some pretty important questions for you. Do you or someone you know struggle with focus and attention?
Doesn't look like we're going to get
sleep,
a like from
memory, or other mood issues? Or maybe you just want to achieve more in
No,
high-pressure situations. Well, what if I told you
It's
you
all right.
can
Her-
unlock
her
your
best
brain's
friend
full
just gave us a
potential
thumbs
and
up,
change
so.
your life
Her best friend?
entirely through neurofeedback?
Heidi said
a
we're good.
drug-free and natural
Heidi
approach
ho.
to negative moods, and it's backed by more than 50 years of research, so it's not new.
Most of those notes
It is
about
safe
the
for both
AFC
children
East,
and
Brent?
adults as you retrain the brain to create
There's
new
a shock.
pathways.
Isn't it
Medication
odd that you have
may
so
help.
many
Robert-
notes on something
They
Me
that
and
don't
Robert will
adjust
take
you've
a
already
15 minute
memorized?
break.
And know it?
Just as push-ups help your physical strength,
I just wanna
neurofeedback
be
is
prepared
personal
where,
training for your brain.
Robert's
With
gonna
over
go,
20
so.
offices nationwide, don't hesitate to reach out to Brain Train Centers,
got
as
nothing
we will
over here,
provide
man.
you with the highest level of compassionate care and
I got
help you
very
achieve the
little.
mental clarity, performance, and calm you deserve. Your journey to a better quality of life
That I
starts
believe.
with a brain map. Now you can retrain your brain and reset your life. So just call or text 470-291-2778 or visit BrainTrainCentersInc.com.
And we are back. Thank you, Melissa Hergert, for being sponsors of the Three Guys Who Love Sports. And we're getting ever so close to the NFL season as well. College starts next weekend. Is that right, Larry? You said there's some week 0 games next week?
I believe there's a couple games next weekend.
Yeah. So I think they start the 29th. And then there might even be a game on the 27th or something like that. But we're a week away from college football, which just
Tickles you.
thrills me to no end. Love some college football. Are
Did they
looking to
call
see a
you?
schedule?
Did they call you when they wanted to, like, what are we going to name the week before week 1?
Did you
For
call
like-
0?
Yeah,
No, they did not call me.
Okay.
So, looks like 8/29. What is that?
Saturday. It's next Saturday.
I think there's like that's like competing against a huge major
So we got
local event, though.
Carolina.
Yes, it is.
Carolina and TCU, San Jose.
So nothing major.
Garbage. NC
Yeah.
State, Virginia. Wow. Yeah, not.
So
one-
there's no weeknight games that week. That's Saturday's the first one.
Saturday. It looks like, and this is FBS, but yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll move on to the pros now and talk about the AFC East. I've got the odds, the latest odds that I
what
could
you got?
find is
How are those Jets looking?
the Jets are plus 2,000.
Plus 2,000. So you're saying Sean could make a lot of money.
Yes, they good. The Bills are minus 130. The Bills are plus. The Patriots are plus 145. I said the Jets were plus 2,000. The Dolphins are plus 4,000. So if you're a Dolphins fan and you put 100 down, you could get a nice return.
You can donate $100 to the casinos because their power bills are outrageous.
I'll tell you what, if you want to give me $100 right now, it'll be a way, way better investment than that.
How about you give me your $100? I hit you in the head with a shovel, and then 3 months later, I'll give you $50 back. You'll think you're like, yeah. Got
So-
half your money back.
There's a lot of great divisions, obviously, top to bottom. AFC East has got
Probably not one of them.
No, and we can talk about the top two for at length, but these bottom two teams are obviously going in a couple of different directions. One, Miami, they got it. They had to get out of the Tua hell and get. They're still paying that contract, even though we're going to get to watch him play in Atlanta. And,
Maybe.
and I don't know, just like that guy.
Both wide
He's afraid to
receiver-
hold on to the ball. I mean, he doesn't want to get hit.
Both wide receivers are
when he
gone.
misses the snap
Quarterback's
on the
gone.
second snap.
The wide receiver room in
Yeah.
Miami is rough.
Waddle went to Denver. I don't
And
remember.
the cheetah's gone. So
Yeah,
I mean,
what did Tyreek Hill
Hey
do?
Malik, come on down to Miami. We'll have you got Waddle to throw the ball to, and then we're gonna trade him. I mean, so
Yeah.
it's like
So Malik Willis is the quarterback, right?
Malik Willis quarterback.
Yeah.
You got
that's not a good start right there. You don't have to go. He's a Roswell kid.
Yeah.
He was a Hornet.
A Roswell Hornet.
it could be the first team that officially says we're just going to tank, right? I mean that's going to be a tough schedule for them.
Now that may be a gap year. Miami. Gap or crap? I can't decide which one.
As long as it all rhymes, we'll just hand it to Shel Silverstein and let him write a
There
poem.
you go.
Well, think about the coach, right? Head coach last year. He's gone now, right?
Brand new coach, right? Mike McDaniel is offensive coordinator
At
for
Seattle.
Captain Khaki.
Captain-
So I'm
Khaki,
kind of
that's right,
I'm
yeah.
actually kind of looking forward to this storyline with Mike McDaniels, because if you're the head coach and what's your game plan this week, coach? Well, we got Tua, and we can't let him. He's made of glass, and we got a game plan around not hitting him. That's our offensive plan. He hasn't been able to come up with a good offensive plan for a couple of years, so it could be a lot of fun to watch him out west this year.
Well, and it's great when you have those dominating head coaches. The Sabans, where Saban would take anything into Alabama because he wasn't worried about you screwing his stuff up.
That's right.
He knew you were going to do it his way. So Captain Khaki, you look back a couple of years where McDaniel's walking out on the field and he's like the coolest guy since Miami Vice.
Right.
And you go, well, I don't know how this works. He's going to be perfect because Captain Khaki is going to go,
This is what you're doing.
this is how you're going to do it, and this is what I expect to see from you. And I think there's going to be a lot of success there. I think he's a great I think he's a great X's and O's guy. I'm not sure he was,
A great head coach.
or maybe just in
We'll
that
see.
in that situation with Tua and everything else.
We're going to find out, because now they're not playing together, and we'll just see what goes. And I kind of have a feeling we've already talked about the top, what we're going to see with Tua, but We'll find out. We're going to see it firsthand locally.
Yeah.
Every Sunday.
Yeah.
1 p.m.
How about the Jets? I mean,
Those Jets are awesome.
Sean's obviously not paying attention.
He's trying not
Who's
to.
your quarterback now?
I think his name's Sean.
Geno Smith.
Geno. That's
Geno is back. Guess who's back? Back
Geno.
again. Geno's back.
Geno Smith.
Now,
and then
Geno
got
stunk,
issues.
and he stunk, and he stunk, and then he went
right.
elsewhere.
He played pretty good in
no,
Seattle.
no, he's played great ever since he left
New York.
But
Yeah.
now he's going back. So is this where we find out that he was really good the whole time? It's just going back there.
Or
And he didn't have a good year last year with the Raiders.
No.
But they were the
and
Raiders.
Do you know who the backup is?
in New York?
Yeah. Cade Klubnik.
Played Klubnik
Klubnik.
from Clemson.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
correct. That's correct.
He went to Clemson. Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's somebody that they might turn to because he was one of those guys who had all the potential, top 5 high school quarterback coming out, and just really never did what everybody thought he would. But
And there was a lot of hope when Brees Hall came out of Iowa, I believe, and they've got a pretty good one of the Ohio State wide receivers. Is it Garrett Wilson?
yep,
Yeah.
He's banged up though.
Yeah.
Brees Hall is.
Yeah.
He's always been banged
He got
up.
banged up again over the weekend. So
Yeah.
here's what the Jets do have. They got a ton of picks next year. And they're gonna that traded in the Sauce Gardner last year. They picked up great assets for picks next year. They're gonna have a phenomenal draft opportunity next year in front of them.
Tell me again, Boston guy, what kind of phenomenal? Is phenomenal.
They're
I tell you.
phenomenal. They are going to be somebody to watch to see if the front office can figure it out. But they're going to have they got some great draft picks next year, and next year is supposed to be a solid draft. So it's clear.
Isn't that always what the Jets?
Yeah. Well, it's clear. We know that one team in the NFL is going to have a quarterback on it that's not playing this year, and that's in Atlanta. We know that those two guys aren't going to be here. Jets is going to be another one. It's going to be another one, and probably Miami as well.
Yeah. We talked a little bit now about the bottom two. Let's talk a little bit about the top two. I think one of these teams is on the upswing, and the other one may be on their last leg. And I don't know that last leg is the thing, but the playoff window or the Super Bowl championship window for Buffalo is coming to an end.
Clearly.
Maybe not immediately,
Clearly,
but soon.
Josh is an incredible player, but you can't do it all, and you can't have him running like he's running through brick walls in week 4 and expecting him to be there in the division round of the playoffs. So it's a fine line for them, and luckily for both of these teams, they get to play the Jets twice, and they get to play the Dolphins twice. So, you look at that and you go, well, that's not near here, there, and there's a lot of bad teams. It is, but
That's 4 W's.
that could be 4 W's for each of these teams, which, it just makes their life a little easier.
Yeah.
I came away. First of all, did you know that there are Boston ties to the development company that built the new Highmark Stadium?
In Buffalo?
Yeah.
I know, but I've heard great things about the stadium.
Well, including all the obstructed view seats.
No.
There's like hundreds and hundreds of
It's
obstructed
like-
views. You can't see the goalpost. You can't see the scoreboard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's
they've
like
got
the old
walls.
Boston Garden.
I'm like, how do you build this?
A stadium nowadays with big
Today.
poles.
And they're saying
Yeah.
they were saying, 90% of the seats are covered. The fans are in the rain. And they're like, I'm getting wet. And it's like, now, okay, first of all, I don't want to hear that, Buffalo fans, because you're the ones that are saying we're breaking tables and all that kind of stuff. So don't be complaining because you're getting wet during the game. But how do you build a stadium that's got
With obstructed view.
seats?
That's
I don't get
crazy.
it. Go look at it. It's incredible. You can't. There's some seats that you can't even see. You can't see half of the goal line.
Wow.
You can't see the goalpost.
That's crazy. I have not seen that. They just raved about it on TV.
So the way you started that conversation and the way you ended it, are you saying that a bunch of Bostonians screwed Buffalo over on purpose?
I just put it out there.
Just asking. I was asking for a friend. I
I just put it out there. I will tell you this. I looked at the schedule, and they came. The over under for New England this year was 10.5. And they won 14 games last year. I don't see a 3.5 game regression. Now, I give everything on the schedule. I mean, the schedule is easier on paper last year. You still had to play the games. You saw what happened during the playoffs. They definitely the offense looked terrible during the playoffs. Still got to the Super Bowl ahead of schedule. But I went through both schedules with Buffalo and New England, and I got them. I got them both with 11 wins.
11-6.
I got them both at 11 wins easily. Now, I think they could easily win another game or two, but I'm looking at this schedule, and a couple things popped out to me that are interesting, and because I think Buffalo is actually I think Buffalo could start out the season 3-1. I think New England could start out the season 1-3.
You guys do not have an easy start.
No, it's not an easy start. And then the narrative in New England, with Vrabel and all of his off-season stuff, if you go 1-3. Good, you're
Hot
gonna
tubbing, baby.
You're gonna love it in Buffalo. You're gonna love that. You're gonna love the Monday morning stuff. But I think it evens out because after that, the schedules kind of switch up a little bit. And I think something that if you're New England, there's 3 teams that New England and Buffalo play differently. New England's got to play Seattle, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville. Okay, Pittsburgh's the home game. They open up in Seattle and they open up in They got to go to Jacksonville. They don't win in Florida. And
3 of their first games on the road.
That's right. But Buffalo's got 3 of their first home games at home, or their games at home. Right. But the off is you open at Houston. I don't know if you remember how well Josh Allen played against Houston last year. That defense is massive. Meaning, if you're going to take Josh Allen as your fantasy football quarterback, you might not want to even start him week 1. Then you got to play the Rams.
Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute. If you take Josh Allen, he's in your starting lineup for week 1. You might not do well, but you have to start him.
You got Houston, you got the Rams, and you got Baltimore. If I'm New England, I think I'd probably rather play Seattle, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville than Houston, Rams, Baltimore.
And I'm not going to argue with you on that, but at the same time, sometimes we don't know exactly what these teams look like. And 2 of your teams, you're playing at the defending champs.
That's right.
So
I got that, and I have that as a loss.
But I'm just saying, you could win that game. It's not like everybody's afraid of them, but and then Jacksonville hosted playoff games last year. This is a team that's possibly on a better tour.
By the way, you guys you play Denver on Christmas.
I'm all about Denver.
That's going to be a great game.
I think there's regression coming from both of the teams in the AFC Championship game last year.
Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me.
All right.
I do think,
and I don't think AJ's going to do anything.
Give us a final point because we need to rank them and move on.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I think New England wins the AFC East because there's one game that's going to separate it. I think that on Thursday, November 26th, Kansas City beats Buffalo, and I think on Monday, December 21st, New England beats Kansas City. That's your tiebreaker.
All right. So that's my order too. I've got the Patriots, Bills, Jets, and Dolphins.
And that's what you're going?
I've got Patriots, Bills, Jets, Dolphins.
Yeah. Is it a clean sweep?
No, it's not going to be a clean sweep.
Are you kidding me? I wouldn't go with that garbage. I'm not even Bills. I'm going to say Patriots, but only because it's so much garbage. And I'm actually going to go Dolphins
and Jets,
and then Jets.
All right.
Just because Sean can hear me.
How many games are Buffalo going to win this year?
I think Buffalo wins 11 and wins the division.
Okay.
No tiebreaker.
Okay.
All right.
It's going to be fun.
All right.
Love football.
Let's get on to our commercials, and we'll get into some fantasy football. There are a lot of places to get your oil changed in the Kennesaw area, but if you're looking for a personal experience, then stop in at Castrol Kennesaw Express Lube or Lost Mountain Express Lube. We'll always do our best to get you in quickly, safely, and without a whole lot of fuss. We're a true owner-operated business where you'll find Brian under a car or hood at one of the shops. We offer experienced, knowledgeable technicians and the latest computer software to help you maintain your new car warranty and keep your pride and joy running for the next 100,000 miles. We proudly offer
Castrol products. Tired of going to the same old places for the same old thing? American Axis has your solution. Whether you're looking for something new to do before or after the game, the most memorable work outing ever, or just wanting to take something else off your bucket list, American Axis has their 3.5 Atlanta locations waiting for you in Marietta, downtown at the Works, the new 30,000 square foot location inside Skull Brewing, and the uber cool Mobile Axe experience that can be set up wherever you need. Keep an eye out for them at upcoming events and festivals. Look them up online or give Dan Fisher a call at 678-763-3635. That's right, Will. 678-763-3635 to schedule your next adventure.
And we thank you, Dan Fisher and Brian Bristow. Brian, good to see you this morning. Went by to see Brian. He had a low pressure tire on my car and couldn't figure out which one it was, and he checked it out for me. Always good to see him. His son is starting at KSU. I told him bring him by and we'll have him on the show for a few minutes and let him talk about his experience.
There you go.
Speaking of experience, we've got some pretty good experience here in fantasy football. We just had the commissioner for our fantasy football league walk in, and he's eating his glasses. But
He kind of looked at us like, kind of like, don't mess with him. He's in charge,
Yeah. But
I want to say he's let it go to his head a little bit, but
yeah. So, what is the general strategy of fantasy football, Robert? Since you won 3 years in a row, we'll let you tackle that first and let Brent give a comment or two.
I think it's just always finding out who the other guys should have taken. This year I have the 11th pick. If you look on a lot of the different things, you gotta have your own list. You use everybody else's list, but then you go, I hate number 9. He was on my team last year. I'm never drafting that bum again. And then number 11 plays for Brent's team, and I hate that team, so I don't want to root for them. So you have to come up with your own list, but you don't have a number 11. I was just kidding. Your team doesn't have that good. but at the end of the day, you're just kind of looking through it and trying to figure out who the best available is. It's real. I know it sounds dumb, but
it's truly the way it is. And Brent, would you say that's probably true?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, remember it's a game. So, and there's a reason why. If you have a player that you love, then take him because he's your player, right? So, now you want to be a little bit smart about it because you don't want, if Josh Allen is your guy, you respect the process. Don't take him in the first round if you have the third pick. You let him come.
Or
to
do
you.
that. I don't care.
Yeah, but it just frees up for everybody else.
Absolutely.
But and I would say this, and you can listen to a million fantasy shows, and they'll say, you're not necessarily gonna win your draft on the first round, but you could lose it.
Sure.
You could lose it by not doing that. So for me, I take a look at where I'm gonna sit, and then I'm gonna take the player that I think has got the best chance for me to get me what I want out of it, throughout the season, and then look where I'm going to be drafting the rest of the way, and really it kind of and then I'll just pivot because if somebody does get crazy and drafts a quarterback and that tight end's available to me, then I'll take them. But if they're both gone, then I'm not going to reach for a tight end. I'll take my position players.
Do you do a lot of mock drafts?
I'll do a few. I do a few. I try to get. I don't know. I don't know about you, but everything I've gone on with all the fantasy sites this year, it's like. They want you to pay for everything.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's like, and then a couple of the drafts I did, it's like I wanted to draft in the spot that I'm at, and it's like they're pushing you all over the place. And so I've done a couple, but it is what it is. We'll do the draft.
Do you pay for a site, Robert?
I've always paid for for an app that I've always used, and they changed the app last year. Now I'm not telling you that's why this garbage fire got in fuegoed, but I still don't have the app. I've only done a couple mock drafts. I just wanted to do a counterpart to your statement about if you have a favorite player, go get them. Sometimes I do not want to take my favorite player because I'm going to have enough time worrying about when the Falcons lose without having my favorite player on my team going,
Sure.
So sometimes you play it both ways.
You can do it, yeah, and it depends. I guess it depends on why you're playing the game too, right? So you've seen different. You've been playing this for many years, and you've seen a lot of people come and go, and they have different levels at it, and you can tell who's.
I can remember one time I had the second overall pick, and they said, "Who you taking?" I said, "Christian Okoye." So yes, I've been playing a long time. The Nigerian Nightmare.
I think 3 years ago you gave me a hard time because I drafted the whole draft, and I didn't
all the match,
and I didn't draft and I didn't draft a kicker, and you're like, you didn't draft a kicker, and I'm like, I'll find one.
Bill Sterritt doesn't do that every year, kicker or defense. Yeah, he doesn't take. So, do you remember your very first fantasy football league draft and who your first player you selected was?
I don't. But I remember my baseball, and I remember in baseball, with the third pick, I took Mariano Rivera because I figured, I'm thinking I'm building like a roster, like I'm a GM. Well, taking a freaking closer was stupid in the third round, but I'm sure I did something like that in football.
It's
as well.
not as bad as taking the kicker with the first pick, which I've seen done before. Which he scored the most points last year. I said, well, it's not quite how you build a fantasy team, but
Good luck with you.
my very
Dead money.
first draft, and I'll tell you how long I've been doing it.
I remember.
The only year I've ever had the first pick was 1982, 83, something like that. When the first year we did it, and I picked Jerry Rice. So, not a bad player to start with, but I wouldn't pick him today.
I don't know. He might be better than some of the stuff going on in
That's true.
in Foxborough.
Yeah. Red, how about you? Do you remember your first league?
Man, I don't remember. It was a long time ago, and I didn't know how to play it. There's at the time, so you just kind of pick and you just go with what it is. And you just kind of get used to the system the first time, and I really don't remember.
Yeah, I remember that and I didn't win. Roger Craig was my running back. Jerry Rice was my thing. So I know you don't get two people on the same team, but I still made it to the Super Bowl game.
That's not true, and
Yeah.
it's a good strategy not to have to take so many people on the same team. But if it's a really good team, that might work out. It's like, well, what was the record that year? 14-2. Okay,
Right.
that probably worked out well for you.
So what's your first bit of advice? Mine would be this, and I'm getting caught up in this year because I'm doing a lot of mock drafts. Like I told Larry before the show, I probably did 100 last year. I might have done 15 or 20 this year. But everybody I like, get back to Brent's point of pick a player you like, everybody's off the same week. 11, 8, and 13. You got to be careful of that, and you got to be careful of bye weeks because that's just, you don't want to have to replace a running back, a receiver, and a quarterback and a tight end all off the same week. Unless you just want to give up a week.
Well, and my thing has always been, and I used to have the same problem, and then I decided if it's my best team, I don't care about losing week 8 by 800 points with nobody in the line. If all of those players give me a better chance between weeks 1 and 7 and 9 and
17 or whatever it is.
absolutely, then you just draft your players.
I think, the way I've approached it is I'm going to take the best players I think that help me out with that, build out my roster, and have the best opportunity to win those games. And then the bye weeks, I start looking at it. So week 3, week 4, I'll start looking out 3 or 4 weeks. I'm like, oh, where am I going to have? Am I going to be tripled up on bye weeks? And then I just work the waiver wire.
Well, and I did one fantasy draft one time where both of my quarterbacks had the same bye. That was not a good thing, but they were really good quarterbacks. I thought I had 2 of the top 8, and it was like if somebody gets injured, I still got this guy. And then you look at it like, okay, but they're the same week. So
Yeah.
might need a third quarterback now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited about the benches being smaller in our league.
I do like
now,
that.
That was the next thing I brought up. This year, instead of 16 rounds, we're only drafting 14 rounds, which is going to leave a lot. It's going to create more activity. It's going to get us out of here probably 30, 35 minutes earlier than typically what we do for a draft night.
At least 40 minutes, yeah.
But
yeah.
it's gonna create a lot of more activity during the season, be it trade or be it free agency pickup.
And I also got rid of the IL spot, which was it's not a big spot. There's only a handful of players or whatever. But now we're only having those five spots. If you got a guy who's hurt, now he's in that spot. Well, you probably don't have a kicker, a defense, and a tight end. Which means if you're hoarding and holding
gotta
on
have
to
to
as much,
drop.
you're going to have to drop somebody you don't want to, and that's what makes it fun when there has to be movement.
Yeah, and it's really weird because I wrote Robert, I guess a week ago Sunday, or no, it had to be this past week because we just drafted selection. But if can you find a mock draft with 12 teams with only 14 rounds? My answer was no. Robert said he could. It made it a little bit harder to do the mock drafts when nobody on the other team were taking defenses or taking kickers before the 15th or 16th round.
And my strategy for you or anybody else, not that this is the last nugget I'm giving you boys. If you're in a 12-team league, you play it like it's a 10-team league. You draft your top 10 guys, and that's what you're working for.
Yep.
Knowing that in this mock draft, you're going to do something different, but your top 10 are your top 10, and then 11 and 12, that's your defense, that's your kicker. Moving on.
And it's a lot different doing a mock draft online as opposed to doing a live draft with people that you know.
especially when you're sitting there and you can do the whole draft in 14 minutes because players 9, 7, and 3 have already checked
And
out.
they're auto picks,
And the other guy's got 19 players in the queue. You know, when you get out here and, Joey Bag of Donuts is like, hey, how many New York Football Giants is still out there?
Yeah,
You know,
well, and that's what I'm talking about. Brent's a big Patriots fan. Not that he would pick a Patriot with no
would.
other thought
He
of
would.
it, but I think if it came between 2 or 3 players, and it looks like he had to choose, he would take the Patriots.
He would, and,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'm the exact opposite. And I know I've had Josh Allen in recent years or whatever, but I typically do not draft Bills and Falcons because they're going to make me cry anyway. I don't need my fantasy team to stink.
And again,
In addition to-
that's something you know when you're doing a live draft like this, and people you don't know online, you're doing mock drafts with.
But you got
don't
some
know.
guy like the who's the guy in our team, our league that's got the 3rd pick? He's a huge Falcons fan. So
He's
he's
the
got
guy that wanted Tua Tagovailoa. What was it? Tua Infinity and Bijan. Yeah.
Well, and
Can you
once
trade?
again,
Can you trade picks in the first round?
no, I mean we've
There's
done
the
it
commissioner.
before.
Ask him right there.
But with the 3rd pick, I took Bijan last year in one of my leagues because you had that number pick. If you've got that number, you're supposed to take the best guy.
I think
best.
you have to, especially in that first round, and even the second, you take the best guy that comes to you, and then
Yeah.
you fill out your roster the rest of the way.
And I'll say that, let me just throw one more thing out there. The different strategies as we talk about them. You've got the number 1 pick.
Yep.
Most likely you're going to take one of the 2 running backs. When it comes back to you and you have picks 24 and 25 and you get to double up while you can, that is so much different than what I will witness.
Because you're going to be
Because
on
I'm going to be 11
Right.
and I'm going to be 14.
14.
So 11 and 14. If I don't get, if I go wide receiver, say I got CD and Jefferson. Boom. Nobody's going to have better wide receivers than me. But by the time it comes back, there will be no more running backs. No matter what you take with the first overall pick, you will have an option to either take the same position or a different position where you are. I should have 2 better players than you, but if I screw that up and, once again, don't do this or do this, then, it could be really ugly by the time that 3rd and 4th round roll around.
Well, and then where you're depending on where you're on that back side of that first round, and you're doubling up. It's like, if you're a huge Josh Allen fan, and you want him, you're going to reach for him.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing. When you're at the back end of the draft, I know if I want somebody like that, he's not going to be back there
gotta go
at
get
the
him.
end of the 3rd
You're going to
round.
have to go get him.
Yeah. So let's give everybody a quick recap of who we are, what position we're drafting. And Brent is drafting first. Mike Palmquist, Seattle Boys is second. Tua Infinity and Bijan is third. Fourth, I can't remember. Larry, I'll have to pull it up. I know I'm fifth. I think Ian is sixth.
He'll screw that up.
I know Michael Modio is eighth.
He'll screw that up.
And Jigba is ninth. I think Hun is seventh.
Njigba's probably not going to win a game this year. He won so many games last year. His team was so much better than everybody else's in the league.
Yeah, let me pull up my picture.
I'm not sure.
Come on. Yeah, that was,
Well, but going back to what we were talking about, you can't always win a draft in the first round, but you could do this. And Njigba is who won that. He had a very top pick when that second and third round, and he was able to double up and add that guy to his team. That's the question. Who's this year's Njigba or somebody like that who you're getting in the third round that's going to go in the first round the next year?
Or who's
not your first round pick, who's a third round pick next year. That's a very bad thing.
and it'll be fascinating to see. Just well, I'm looking forward to it tomorrow. I mean, who's gonna, how far does Puka fall? How good of a value
To
is
number
Saquon?
11.
Yeah, he's
Is Saquon a great value if he's sitting at you at 20?
Oh, correct.
Right. So I mean,
At some point, even though you don't like a player,
You take him.
The
You gotta
value,
take him.
when the value presents itself at that particular position, then it's the right pick.
So if you
but I'm
want
not
to-
taking Saquon no matter what.
If you want to see a fun time, please come back out to Miller's Ale House tomorrow night at 7, where our draft will start out here on the patio. It'll be a lot of fun.
Where's it going to end at?
Same place.
Okay, you said it was going to start out there. I just wondered if it was ending out in the parking lot or something.
If commissioner throws us out.
What is it, like
yeah.
a walk the parking lot draft or something? Draft the second rounds at the
That would
dumpster?
be fun.
Yeah.
I will have the draft board. I did make it home to Cartersville last week. It's got a little bit of a curve in it. I don't know if that's from the speed or whatever, but yeah.
All right. So Brent's first, Larry's last, and they'll be picking back to back. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Brent, thanks for coming out today, man.
Gentlemen,
look forward to
always
seeing you
a pleasure.
tomorrow
I
Break a
love
leg
being on
tomorrow.
here.
What a great start to our 5th year, right?
You can't beat it.
Unbelievable.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right,
Thank
guys. Guys, know your numbers, cover your ass, get your prostate checked out there. We'll see you next week right here on Three Guys Who Love Sports. What up, Will?
You call him Mr. Commissioner. You give him,
What up, Commish?
proper dues. That's how I win fantasy. I'm the commissioner, and then I don't do anything the rest of the year.
Great stuff, guys.
Oh, that koozie. Thank you. Oh, is that your biscuits? No, this is his business. He has this 10 for 10, and I saw it over there, and I was like, I know he's got more of these. I want to steal this one.
I got it.
No, Larry made that for him.
No, I made that for him.
Oh shit! Well then I'm
But
not.
you know what? I'll bring
I'll make you one if you would like.
I'll bring a bunch tomorrow.
Well, no,
I'll bring 10 tomorrow.
it's one of those things. I've got a drawer that I'm going to put a bunch of koozies
You don't
in.
have,
if
you
I
don't
have
have a
people
10
come
for
over
10?
to my house.
I'll make sure you have a 10 for 10 piece tomorrow.
And somebody's going to be like, "What's this? It's 10 for 10, man. Don't you know, Brent?"
This is the latest edition of the hat.
I like it.
Yeah. Came out good.
Raiders.
I'll bring 10 for 10 koozies tomorrow. That's going to be fun tomorrow. I don't know. Probably I don't really that many games.
Don't drink too much now so you can make
What's
that
that?
quick.
Cop police, I don't know what they were looking for.
Yeah. You're just trying to make sure I'm still here. Dang ankle monitor.
Yeah, Puka has slid to me at 5 in some of the mock drafts. But basically, I've got a decision between.
Yeah.
He's ranked 4th.
No, he was ranked 4th. He shouldn't be now. If he's number 4 on your list, you're not looking at a current list, or your list has not been updated.
Or ESPN is not keeping their list up to date.
So yeah, I was pretty sure we weren't going to get anybody to like the show when I got the text message that said, "Hey, we're going to eat at Henry's tomorrow for my birthday. If you guys want to come and join." And I said, "I wish I could, but I'll be doing something for the show up at Miller's Ale House tomorrow." And then at 5:02, I get the awesome double exclamation point. Boy, you talk about somebody who really doesn't feel like that was awesome. It's okay. My life is better.
Hey, Will, what time are we leaving on the 19th?
I don't know yet. What time does the draft start tomorrow?
7.
Dinner's at 6, draft starts at 7.
Dean is doing the board. Dean is doing the board.
Tina Chuckalina. I don't know if Megan's coming with Mike or
I
not.
don't know. I don't know if they got kid coverage or not. Yeah, I was looking at like that one position is so weird because you don't know who's gonna. Because, I mean, by the time it gets back to me, in theory, both of the tight ends should be gone, but they might not be. Depends on if somebody reaches and takes the quarterback.
Mine have been fairly consistent. I mean, my mock drafts, but again, I don't know, it's because there's so many auto picks on there or whatever. But
What's a sleeper quarterback in your world that you think will have
Sleeper
a
quarterback.
good year? That's not gonna, he's not gonna have 30-point games, but he's gonna give you 22, 24 points a game.
Who's that?
A quarterback.
Well,
And not your top tier quarterbacks.
I always